Hey, what's up, everybody, and
What's
welcome
going
back.
on? Happy
Welcome back. Happy Saturday.
Saturday. What's
Welcome
going
back to
on,
the Act
y'all?
Right Out Loud podcast. I'm your
Podcast.
host, Jermaine.
What's up, y'all? It's Tonja.
Yeah, and we're back for
We're
another
back for
episode.
another great episode.
Yes, we are.
This is the last Saturday of July.
The year is going by so fast.
Y'all,
The year is going by so fast.
we almost done with the month of July. I feel like we just started.
Right. But you know what? Y'all got to give it up for consistency, though.
Period.
Y'all got to give it up for consistency. So
Period.
clap it up one
Clap
time.
it up one time. You know, pat on the back.
Yeah, thank you.
Pat on.
Get you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We have enjoyed spending this time with you all, and I just want to take out this time to say thank you to everyone, all of our subscribers, and the feedback that we've been getting. Man, it is
feels good.
Feels good. So we hope
we do
that these conversations have been a blessing to you all. We hope they have helped.
Helped and mainly helped.
Oh yes.
Because we're trying to strengthen these relationships.
Absolutely, we're trying our best
in this world.
Trying our best to. So, but
don't stop. Relational people.
Don't stop. Keep sharing.
Yeah.
Keep telling people about the Act Right Out Loud.
I was about to say, don't stop.
Get it. No, I won't say it that time. Okay. But if y'all missed last week's episode, go back, check it out.
Last week's episode was good. The I Am Marriage.
I Am Marriage.
And it was a good conversation.
Great conversation.
Yeah.
A lot of good feedback. And so, listen, I want to challenge you all. We want to challenge you all. If there's something that you guys perhaps want us to
discuss,
have a conversation about, send us a message,
Yeah.
Go directly to
ActandZachRight.com.
And while we're doing that, this Act Right Out Loud podcast.
You was setting me up.
Yes. Is brought to you by
Act and Zach
Right. Go directly to ActandZachRight.com.
Join our mailing list.
Check
us out on social media.
Look at the product.
Yeah.
Look at the merch.
Look at what we got, y'all.
Yes.
Read a little bit about us.
Absolutely.
We got a little about us page. Mm-hmm. We have a contact us page. So like Atkins was saying, if y'all have some episodes y'all would like to hear, you can either hit us up on social media, Atkins Act Right, Facebook and Instagram, or you can click on that contact us button at ActandZachRight.com.
So listen, we got a good conversation for you all today.
We do.
And for one, I am excited about this conversation because today we're talking about the wedding
versus the marriage. They be fighting each other, don't they? It's a competition these days.
Versus the marriage.
Yeah, it's a goal of a lot of people to have a great wedding and not so much focus on having a great marriage.
So
yeah,
just thinking back,
we're gonna try to make it, within our time frame, because this is one of the conversations that's
right. And I know
important.
I know that somebody's out there that can safely say, if I knew then
what I know now, things would have been a little different.
That would have been different. I would have saved a lot of money.
Yeah,
I would,
because we said it right.
We definitely said it. And we didn't have just a huge budget.
No, but still, to me, any money towards an event like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great to have the glitz and the glamour, for it all to be cute, picture worthy and all that. But I would have put more focus on our marriage instead of those times we spent trying to plan the wedding.
Right. So y'all, this is what we see and what we have seen.
Yeah.
We've had couples to contact us while, of course, the ball is rolling in terms of
planning
the wedding, meaning like the dress has been picked, color scheme, bridesmaids, groomsmen.
Yeah, it's already been prepared.
All these things been prepared, and couples will wait until maybe a month before the actual wedding date, with the expectations of coming to us as coaches or counselors with the expectation of us trying to unfilter out everything
that they got going on,
they have going on, and there's absolutely no way that you can do it.
That's a lot of work.
It is
in a short period of time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. So what you see, and those who are coaches, counselors, pastors, what have you, that may be watching, I know that you can testify to this, and that is, people will invest thousands of dollars in a wedding ceremony, and a what's the thing after
the reception?
Reception.
Baby, so what's the thing after?
I was say banquet, but the wedding reception. I'm talking about the best of foods, ice sculptures.
What is with you in these ice sculptures?
DJ live. I think deep down inside, I kind of
wanted one.
I wanted one.
What would it be of though?
I don't know.
Maybe a swan
or
something.
I don't know.
A cupid.
Yeah, I don't know. But all of that money, and 6 months into the actual marriage, can y'all come help us? This, that, and the third going on, all because you put more
emphasis on the ceremony,
yes,
as opposed to the marriage.
The marriage itself.
Do you believe that sometimes? Can you believe that sometimes the fiancés don't meet the parents until the weekend of the wedding?
I think that's crazy.
Yeah,
and I know you see a lot of that on television, but that's in real life,
right?
Like they may have been in close proximity with their future in-laws once or twice, and that's just not enough.
Yeah, because like I need to know your family to make sure that we are compatible in that range as well. I mean, I get, the family is not the decision maker, but sometimes they can bring some light to some stuff that you wonder why are you like that?
Right.
And it goes back to us having that home of origin conversation and family dynamics, because that stuff is real and it matters.
Right. What is that show? I forget what channel it was on, where it was a reality show where they bring their fiance to.
Oh God, I know what you're talking about.
I can't think of the name of it, and
where they're engaged.
Yeah.
And the family makes the decision if they should be married or not.
Right, and then that alone is crazy. The family makes a decision on whether or not.
What culture are we in? Right. I mean, they're back in whatever ages that was, where the father chooses arranged marriages. Yeah. Is that still a thing? Is that still?
I believe it is
a thing in different cultures.
I do believe it is in some cultures. But here's the thing, y'all, because everybody just listening to us, you either had a major wedding, major reception. Kudos to you. Kudos. Well, we're not knocking it. What we're simply saying is invest just as much or even more
into your
marriage versus everything else that's surrounding your marriage.
Right, because you've given everything to this wedding, and now that the marriage is here, you poop, you tired.
You're exhausted, you're tired, but there has not been any real work put into the marriage itself.
Well, that's because people have the mindset that the marriage doesn't start until we get together and live under one roof, and we are, declared husband and wife. That's when the marriage starts. That's the mindset of a lot of people. And if you think that something doesn't start until you get in that position, then your preparation for it is not always the first thing on your mind.
Right.
So the wedding, and I think it's a lot of pressure out there for people when it comes to weddings. That's because true. Of now how social media shows all this glitz and glam of how beautiful a ceremony and the memories of that. That's all great and dandy.
Right.
But if you get a divorce a year after that $50,000 wedding,
right,
what did you invest in?
Exactly. Hear us good. What? Hear us good. Don't allow the congratulations of the engagement. Don't allow all of that positive chatter to push you into something that you know that you truly cannot afford. Number one.
Oh, you mean like for the wedding?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you put all that energy into it. You're trying to impress people.
That's what I was just getting ready to get to.
Yeah.
Don't allow the pressure to impress people to put you in bankruptcy.
Right.
to take you away from the real reason why the ceremony is taking place in the first place.
Right.
Because that ceremony is the beginning event to your future.
Right.
But it's not the foundation of your marriage.
Right.
So right. Yeah. So you can plan the wedding accordingly. And if you got 10 grand, 20, 30, if you have that amount budgeted to spend on a wedding, by all means do it. But what we're saying is do just as much for this marriage. And don't start preparing for the marriage after you've been declared husband and wife.
Not only that's true. And don't start planning for the marriage when you feel like you got everything in place. I got all my bridesmaids. I got all the groomsmen. We have.
Sometimes that's not until a couple of weeks before the wedding.
Oh, we got the venue. We got these deposits paid. I want you. This is really interesting. Just throw out some numbers in terms of possible guest lists for a wedding.
Like how many? Yeah. Like the number of people
that you're actually sending invitations to.
Ooh. We wanted a small ceremony, so we sent out maybe like 100 invitations.
Right.
But I've known people to send out 200-300 invitations.
200-300.
Yeah.
Watch this, y'all. Does it make sense to invest all of that time, money, and energy for a guest list of 100, 200, 300? But then don't invest in your marriage only for 6 months, a year, 2 years down the line, where it will only be 5 of y'all. Husband, wife, husband's lawyer, wife's lawyer, and the judge for divorce.
Dang, baby. You went deep.
Think about that.
Well, I mean, I don't want to because that's not going to be my testimony.
Well, no, it's not.
But I get what you're saying, though. Like, why is the wedding that important to you? And think about that. Think about why having this big hoopla of a wedding more important than sitting down and preparing for the marriage.
Right.
Now, we're not saying that you can't do both.
Right. Absolutely.
Because you can do
absolutely.
both.
Absolutely.
You can prepare for a wedding and you can prepare for a marriage. But you have to identify and prioritize which one is the most important. Yeah. And if the wedding is most important, then of course, that's where all of your attention and time and energy is going to go. But if the marriage is more important, you'll see that in the planning process of your wedding.
Yes,
because you'll see how you and your partner are becoming closer.
Yep.
You'll see how you and your partner are growing together and you're understanding each other better and you're able to communicate and have less conflict while planning the wedding.
Right.
So there's some benefits to it.
There are some benefits. There are some benefits. And then the flip side of that too is making sure that you choose the right persons to do your premarital coaching or counseling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure you choose the the right ones. Now I'm gonna say something that may not be popular, but I'm gonna say it.
Say it, baby.
Your pastor does not necessarily have to do your counseling.
Yeah. Especially if that's not something that they understand and know how to do. People think that just because you're a pastor, you know how to counsel, marriages and things of that magnitude. There's some single pastors out there that have never been married that have no clue about marriage, but they can give you a biblical context behind it. So if that's what you're seeking, then by all means, surely your pastor should be able to direct you to a scripture and kind of explain it and give you kind of a Bible study about it. But if you're needing counseling to situations that are, detrimental to the marriage, like something that could potentially end up in divorce, then be careful who you choose to give you that counsel, because you want to be able to either make a decision to stay or make a decision together to separate, or whatever the outcome is. You want someone that is educated enough to know how to educate you on how to handle certain situations.
Yeah, because a good seasoned pastor, smart pastor, they of course they'll give you a biblical context, but at the same time they will direct you to someone, a good couple, to kind of help, walk with you throughout that particular journey. So it's so that there are ways and of choosing who's going to do your coaching or counseling. Now, for Tonja and I, that's a non-negotiable for us. Like, if anybody asks us about counseling, we like,
what do you mean?
Of course you should.
You should also have accountability partners.
Absolutely.
You should be preparing yourself to have people, because just like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a great support system to have a great marriage.
Right.
And sometimes you need outside support. And now I'm not saying outside opinions about how you should handle, but the support to say, y'all can do that, y'all can work that out. And I know this person that has done it, and they use this person to help them get out of it. That type of support, not the type of support that's going to choose sides.
Right. Because so I'll use myself for example. Like, I did a few wedding ceremonies before I was married, but a couple of them that I did, my pastors at the time, they did the counseling. I just did the ceremony.
You just married them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So your pastor can still do the ceremony.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I just
because most counselors are not ordained to marry someone. So
well, not today's time.
Today's time is just a click of a button. Go to www.ordainme.com.
Right. Get that quick license.
I can marry you if you want me to.
Whatever state you're in. So that's going right. I want to say this, and then we can jump in just to a couple of more things. One of the reasons why we really wanted to dive in on the wedding versus the marriage, because we talked about this a little bit in the journey as well. But we really, what's the word I'm looking for? We were, now, I won't necessarily say encouraged, but Apostle Malone's book, The Real Connection.
The Real Connection, that's such a great book.
That's a good book. Shout out to Apostle Malone.
Yeah, that's such a great book.
Who married us. Yeah. Who laid his hands on us and still covers us to this day.
Yeah.
He has a chapter in the book, Real Connection, Stop the Wedding, the Marriage
is in trouble.
Is in trouble.
Wait.
That alone, that alone, and we reference that in the journey as well.
Like, if you're sitting up there planning this wedding ceremony and you and your future spouse can't seem to see eye to eye on nothing, stop planning that wedding. Your marriage got issues.
Right. And you know what's good? Now this is where it kind of gets a little sticky.
It
gets a little crazy.
Sticky. What am I, elementary? It gets a little sticky.
If you have pastors who are really about that life.
About what life?
The cutoff life.
What does that mean?
I'm gonna tell you.
Gotta give more detail.
If you have pastors who are about that life, they will sit back and listen to the couple talk back and forth. Listen to how they avoid certain conversations and questions, and they will tell you, y'all not ready to get married. And I, for one, I can't marry you. And that couple, of course, is left. This is why it's important that you invest just as much time and energy into counseling. Really, it should be before you start planning the actual ceremony itself. Mm-hmm. Because now you're in a situation to where we've invested all this money, all these deposits, all these different things, and y'all trying to tell us that we're not ready. And y'all not going, and y'all are not going to marry us. I've seen it happen.
I have too.
I've seen it happen, and a lot of hurt feelings.
A lot of hurt feelings. Got to find somebody else to marry him.
Somebody else to marry him.
Nowadays, that won't be hard.
No, it won't be.
But I respect that. I respect someone being honest with me about my situation and showing me things that I'm not able to see.
Right.
Because I'm so overwhelmed with excitement about the wedding that I'm not realizing that maybe something between us needs to be fixed first before we proceed forward with, finishing the planning for this wedding. Right. Because what good is it to invest all this money and to be in a home unhappy? Like, don't make sense. I don't want to be happy just for one day.
Right.
I want happiness with you throughout.
Forever. Till they'll do us part. That's the reason why we ask the question all the time. Is there anything, y'all, every couple we sit down with, whether it's premarital or if it's just marital, is there anything that needs to be talked about right now that could potentially come out later that needs to be discussed before we move forward?
I honestly think that before you go into your premarital counseling, anything like that, you should literally have a list of things that you struggle with.
Yes.
And you should have a list of things that you find you and your partner do very well.
Yeah.
Such as, we communicate very well, but we struggle with our communication in times of conflict. Like, you should go into your premarital counseling or coaching with a list to show them that we're prepared and we're committed to this, and we know the things that are a hindrance to us, and we know the things that are good about us.
Right.
And we need to focus more here so that we can get better and not have so many issues in the marriage.
Right.
That's how you pregame.
Yeah, that is.
People are always talking about let's pregame before we go to the club.
Yeah.
Let's pregame before we get married.
Thank you. Now, because this is something that I heard Dr. Vernon say this. He said, truthfully, if you respect your pastors for who they are in your lives, you will have premarital counseling with your pastors before you even set a date. I respect that. Yeah, before you set. Now, of course, for some people, they won't hear that because it's like, this is my wedding. I set my date or whatever.
Yeah.
But you have to take whoever is doing your coaching and counseling. You have to take them just as serious as you take putting that deposit down for that venue.
Yeah.
Before you put that deposit down, before you saying yes to the dress. They don't want to talk about that.
They don't talk about that.
They
don't go down that road. So that's why it brings us to a few things that we think are, when we think about the comparison of the wedding to the marriage. So we're going to kind of dive into we have a few of them, so we'll try to get through as many as we can, because I know sometimes we can have so much information for one and kind of get stuck there, but we're going to try to get through as many as we can. So the wedding is temporary. The marriage is long term.
That's good.
this is a mindset, right? Yeah. When you're planning your wedding, you see it as a temporary event, something that is for that day, and it won't last forever. Whereas your marriage is long-term, is something that you're committing to for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. So which one are you going to put focus on?
Well, think of it like that.
You can't get it out. You're like,
right.
Okay.
Most weddings in our culture and in today's society, it's going to last anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour.
The ceremony.
The actual ceremony.
Yeah.
From the time from when the ushers come in to light the candles.
And everybody process in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The reception, then of course it's probably going to be a good 30, 45 minutes.
In between
pictures.
Photos. Yeah.
Then the reception. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, in some cultures, in some cultures, or religions, because I know Jehovah's Witnesses, their wedding ceremonies can be anywhere from 2 hours.
Because of a lot of ritualistic type things.
Yes. So,
is it ritual or ceremonial? I guess.
Yeah. I
don't really know the difference.
Yeah, probably about the same. Okay. It's long.
It has meaning.
Yeah, it does have meaning. It has a meaning. It has a purpose.
But okay, I get it.
So when you're doing that particular compare and contrast in terms of the wedding ceremony and the marriage, and I mean, the marriage has to be in those individuals' minds. Mm-hmm. It has to be in their minds, not just the fact that we're putting on a great wedding ceremony. Mm-hmm. The marriage itself, it has to be the focus.
It has to be the focus because you're showing up for each other to come together for something that is long term. Mm-hmm. So we're coming together on this day,
right,
to commit to what we said we were going to do as husband and wife.
Right.
So when you put your mind into this whole, what am I trying to say? Because it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't really get it out. Mm-hmm. So when you put yourself in position to commit to something as big as this,
right,
you should think more of the commitment as opposed to the road getting to the commitment.
Right.
So you need to focus more on how are we going to live together and how we're going to work this thing out together after the ceremony, as opposed to how am I going to look walking down the aisle? Mm-hmm. How am I going to, what am I going to wear?
Right.
What is he going to wear? What does my ring look like?
Right.
So I think the wedding to me is more of a materialistic thing as opposed to the marriage, because what are we focusing on, ladies? The dress, right? To us as the bride, the dress is the most important thing of the ceremony and the venue, of course. Yep. So a lot of money, time, and effort goes into what I'm going to look like instead of what I'm going to be like after this. That's because I'm going to look good in this dress on this day.
Right.
But what am I going to be like after we jump the broom?
Yep.
After we make it over to the other side of, from being engaged to being married.
Right. On the other side of
I hope I got that out. I felt like I did a lot to try to get that out.
But you made it.
I made it.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Why do it?
And we got your point.
You got my point?
Yeah, because you definitely don't want to. You want to be in that space of what it is supposed to be like,
instead of what what I'm looking like.
Right
now. So that's why we say the wedding is temporary, because the way I look on my wedding day 10 years ago, I look totally different. I need you to love me past that person that you saw once we got married.
Yes.
Once, we were in this event together and you see me all glammed up, you need to know that I'm not going to look like that all the time.
Right.
I'm not going to wear makeup all the time. I'm not going to,
Right.
Sometimes my hair ain't gonna be cute.
Right. And I know some people are probably saying, surely, couples have talked about this, and
but
it's
I
the
think
difference
people
between talking about
downplay the
it.
conversation, though.
Oh yeah. That's just getting ready to say.
Okay.
There's a difference between talking at it and talking about it in terms of what it's going to actually look like versus what we perceive it to look like. You know,
right.
So you can't just talk around these conversations. You have to really talk at it.
Yeah.
Because you want your marriage
talk about
to be about it.
Yeah.
About it. You want your marriage on the way.
I'm about it.
Right.
You about it.
I'm about it. you want that was dumb. You want your marriage.
You can't even get your sentence out.
All I'm saying now is Master P. You want your marriage to be something that you invest in.
Yeah.
Every investment comes with a return. It should come with a good return.
Your marriage is a better investment than your wedding venue.
Yeah. Oh yes.
And your wedding venue is going to cost you thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Your marriage is just going to cost you your effort and your time.
Right.
Financially, your marriage should not be financially, your marriage would not put you in bankruptcy.
Right.
Is what I'm trying to say.
There you go.
But not investing in your marriage can put you in much worse situations. Much worse situations. So that's one of the reasons why we feel like you should invest more in your marriage than you do your wedding.
Right.
Another reason is your wedding is an event. Your marriage is a covenant.
That's the wedding itself.
Your wedding is an event.
Your wedding is an event, but your marriage
is a covenant.
It's a covenant that you're making with you and your spouse.
Yeah.
Between you all and God.
Yeah.
Not the people that sit in the pews who are happy for you.
Not that his and her side.
No. None of that. You know, the word covenant means to cut off. So that means that when
my cutoff game strong.
Right. That means that when we go into covenant relationship
with each other,
there are some things that ultimately will have to be
cut off.
It will have to be cut off. And sometimes we don't.
Maybe that's why people don't have those conversations, because they don't like to cut things off that pleases them in the moment, or that they've come to be, familiar with and don't want to get rid of and don't want to lose. Maybe that's why some people don't have these conversations.
Well, that's true too. But the Bible says, Matthew 19:5-6, just paraphrasing, therefore man shall leave his father and mother, meaning that he's cutting off from that and do what? And cleave to his wife, or hold fast to his wife. And therefore, and they shall become one. But if you don't cut off,
you don't cut nothing off.
We're not trying to preach. I promise you, we're not.
Says the person that brought out the scripture.
Right. We're just trying to make some sense. But
think about that, right? So the wedding is an event. It's an event that can last for a day.
Yeah.
Right. Because the preparation up until the ceremony is just the whole day.
Right.
But your marriage is a covenant, is something that you are going to hold on to forever.
Right.
Now, you're going to hold on to the memories of that event of your wedding, but your marriage, you're going to hold on present, future, until, that time's, I hate to say until death do us part.
Right.
In reality, that's what it's supposed to be.
That's what, that's what you're signing up for.
That is what you're signing up for. But I'm just saying, put in more focus on the covenant of the marriage as you do an event. It just, if you think about it like that, it just doesn't make sense for you to put all this effort into a wedding and not invest time and energy into your marriage.
Yeah, and I think that's mainly because a lot of people don't really understand the true significance behind covenants. And
I think they understand the definition of, but they don't like it.
That's true.
Because it puts them in position to be accountable to someone and to be responsible with what they're committing to.
That's right.
And a lot of people don't want to take the responsibility. They just want to say, I'm committed and not do the work.
That's right.
So that's why when the wedding comes around and you do all this work to make this beautiful event a success, your marriage looking like a Raggedy Ann doll.
Right. And
I hate that doll. That doll is the ugliest doll I ever. I'm sorry, y'all. For those of you that love Raggedy Ann, powers be. Hey, great.
Grew up on that.
But that doll is ugly and creepy. I guess it's creepy to me now because I've seen it on. Yeah. And then to see it on that TV series not
this.
What's the name of that TV series? God, we'll think of it before.
It ain't them, is it?
Them.
Okay, it is them.
Yes,
okay.
Where he was this big raggedy. And
yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy.
He made me hate him even worse, but that's neither here nor there.
But don't you want your marriage to be as successful as what your wedding ceremony and everything looked like? I would think so.
I don't want a day of love. I want a lifetime of commitment and love.
Yeah.
I don't want you to just be excited to be with me just because this is a day that we've planned together. And I mean, I want you to glorify in the significance of the wedding, what it means to have this ceremony and to put a stamp on your commitment. But to me, experiencing the wedding would be so much greater if you understood the marriage.
Yeah.
If you understood where y'all were going together, you know, that ceremony, you're talking about some boo-hooing in it, you know what I mean? Because the emotions are there because you've put forth so much work into making your marriage great and not just making your wedding beautiful.
And you tired.
Man.
You're tired.
That's why we left right after that wedding because that's just too much work.
Right. And you're tired. So,
you know.
You got one more. You got another one.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
No.
How much time have we been talking? Because, we be trying to stay within this time frame. And I think we go over it every time. Sorry, y'all.
We go over.
But this is conversation. So, we just have this conversation. So the next one is the wedding is for family and friends. The marriage is for the two of you.
That is true. That is so true.
You got serious,
because I'm thinking about a lot of couples, some of them cannot even remember what was on the menu at the reception, right? But all of their guests man, the meatballs and wings, it was so, everything was so good. Everything was this, and the food, just the open bar, and just the whole 9 yards. And the couple's like, we had that.
Did you eat at our reception? I think I ate one thing. I had a kebab. The
fact that I had to think about it.
Yeah.
I think I had a kebab.
Yeah.
And I think I had some cake.
I mean, of course we had cake because we cut the cake.
No, but yeah, we did cut the cake, of course. But I just can't remember everything that we had on the menu. So yeah, because even in conversation, we want to make sure that our guests are comfortable. We want this and the third.
I mean, yeah, because we were planning the event with them in mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we wanted them to be comfortable. We wanted them to enjoy our, commitment to each other, seeing our commitment to each other on display. But it's just planning an event for other people to enjoy it, and then for you to be the one that spotlighted for that time being, that's a lot.
Yes, it is.
And maybe it is for me because I don't like being on display. I don't like being front and center. But I personally could have been good with going to the courthouse. And maybe that's because I was married before and I did the whole wedding thing. I could have been okay with going to the courthouse and maybe having a big party after.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a reception, but a party.
But you know what? A lot of we hear more couples say that now. A lot of couples say that when they look back in retrospect of just everything that they had to go through in terms
and all the money that they had to spend.
Yes, that we could have went to the courthouse or just had something very extremely small and intimate, and then just had a reception or a party or what have you, just to celebrate our love, and then go take our our honeymoon.
Right.
So that's something to definitely think about. And we're not saying go do that. We're not saying that. We're just saying that's what a lot of people are say now in terms of look back in retrospect.
Yeah. So. Because we go get this marriage license, and just so y'all know, your marriage license does not define your commitment to each other.
Right.
It's just the beginning stage of solidifying your marriage.
Right. That, and just so the court systems can know that y'all are
so they can know married. And for reasons of maybe financial reasons or buying a house together, things like that, right. And to take the last name and to create your family behind that last name. But I really wish people really thought about marriage more than they thought about the wedding.
I do too.
Because we commit ourselves to throwing on this big party, something that gonna put, make them talk. They're gonna talk about this one. I'm gonna hurt them with this.
I'm hurting with this. The wedding of the year.
The wedding of the year, and Lord, the divorce of the year too.
And that's sad. I'm gonna say this, and I don't know when I say this, I don't know if we're gonna close it out on this or however you want to. You may have something else. If for any reason you have any reserves before their wedding day, it is absolutely okay, number one, to have those reserves, and it is absolutely okay for you to make a decision with you and your future spouse to push that day off. Don't
well, I mean, if it's a possibility that you don't have to push that day off, if you did premarital counseling, right, and they invite you to come back with any last minute wedding jitters, which is something that we do. When it gets closer to time, nerves will set in, and then you will really start to think, am I doing the right thing?
Right.
But what Atkins is talking about, if there's something that you've been feeling deep down, but you kind of been brushing it off throughout this whole planning process, then you definitely need to stop the wedding because your marriage is in trouble.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely in trouble. Go ahead.
I think that if you were focusing more on the marriage as you were on the wedding, you could probably bypass situations such as that, unless you are not being honest through your preparation of the marriage.
That's the thing.
So if you're not being honest with who's ever doing your counseling or coaching, then what's the point?
Then and think about this, especially if to our engaged couples who are listening in, those who are seriously dating and you're getting ready to going that way, invest in your premarital coaching or counseling.
Free ain't always good, y'all.
Free died with broke.
Ooh.
Pause alone. Free died with broke.
You better say that again.
Free died with broke. And it is an indictment on your pastor or whoever it is that you have chosen to do your premarital coaching and counseling, where you invest all of this financial resources, energy into a ceremony, and then you have the expectation for them to do it either for free, for $50 a session. That should be an investment. That should be something that makes you kind of like, okay, I'm definitely going to this session.
Yeah.
Oh, can we just miss the session? No. We're not missing this session. we paid
this money. We paid and it's gonna hold you accountable.
That yes.
Yeah. And don't be in a marriage that you're not married to.
Right.
If you are not fully committed to this relationship and you are not united to it, then you gonna have a rocky roll.
Yes.
I was trying to put that the best way I could,
I mean, that was it. You are.
But let's make marriage great again. Shoot, campaign. Come on, campaign. Let's make marriage great again. Yeah. Let's make being in a marriage great again. Not just the outer exterior of marriage and the whole relationship goals.
That's right.
You know, bull. Let's literally make it great again by investing in it.
Right.
That's all I got to say. It.
What else you got? Is it? We're good. Is it?
Well, we're gonna go and cut it off because if we keep going, it's probably gonna go over an hour.
We may have to come back and just have just like a little fireside chat about this because we want to make sure that
we want y'all to invest more in your marriage.
Yeah.
We don't need the marriage to be in competition with the wedding.
That's good. That's really good.
Because we want y'all to be married to the marriage.
That's a drop the mic moment.
Where my mic at?
Yeah, that's a drop the mic. That's a drop the mic moment. So listen, once again, thank y'all for tuning in with us. This has been a good conversation.
Good conversation. I wish we could go.
Yeah, the wedding versus the marriage. I want y'all to we really want y'all to think about that.
Think about that. Change your mindset. You know, focus more on the marriage than you do the wedding. You'll see on that day how much more excitement and joy that fills your heart when you know, we've invested in each other and we know that we are the ones that need to be together.
Right.
We can make this thing called marriage work.
Yeah, sure can.
We have. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Atkins. This is the last Saturday of July. Man. Get out and do something with each other.
Yes, go out, enjoy the weather wherever you are. Have a ball.
Yeah.
Because once August gets here, if you got children, it's time to get ready.
To get ready for school and all that good stuff all over.
So, listen, thank y'all once again for tuning in with us. We'll be here next week for another great episode.
Yep.
We look forward to chatting with you all.
Yep.
We're signing off until next time. Y'all. All right, peace out. See y'all later.